Welcome eTeachers to this section of our training course, Google Slides. So in this section, we're going to talk about how we can create a slide presentation using Google Slides. But why Google Slides? So there are several reasons. Basically, the ease of use and easy accessibility, the convenience and the safety of a cloud-based presentation app, the ability to integrate many other e-resources into your presentations very easily, features that allow you to interact with students, again, easily, whether you're in a face-to-face classroom or online, and also the ability to change the presentation to suit your style. All of these put Google Slides at or near the top of any shortlist for presentations tools, and it's free. So to get started, just Google Slides, or you can go direct to the URL, google.com/slides/about. And on this page, you click Go to Slides, and then enter your Gmail account and your password. Okay, you will be directed to the dashboard of Google Slides. Later on, you can choose a different template or one of your own presentations to edit, but for now, let's just click Blank Presentation here to start a new presentation. Before getting into it, let me also show you another way to start from Google Drive, since presumably many of you will be using Google Drive for organization. So let's go there, and in your Drive, you can see on the left, you have this new icon, and then under it, you can find Google Slides from the list, and you can see we also created a brand new presentation slide. So the first thing you should do is name your presentation file. So double click here. You can name it anything you like. In this demo, I'm going to talk about fairy tales. So I'm going to call it Introducing Fairy Tales. And all the changes I made to my Google Sites will be saved to Drive automatically. So I don't need to worry about that. Very convenient. On the top right here, you can see a number of options provided by Google, and you can click on any one of them to apply the theme of your choice. So it will become the theme of your entire presentation. If you don't like it, you can hover over a different one and click it to update your theme. You can also click Import a Theme here to import a new one if you have one in mind. For example, I can click this presentation slide to import its theme. There are two themes in the slide, so I can choose either one of them. Okay, now I have the new theme, and suppose you already have the slides created before you want to import not just the theme, but also the slides that you previously created. You can go to the drop-down menu File here, and then click Import Slides. And now you have to choose from these three slides presentation. I want to choose the one in the middle. I can click Select here, and now you can choose which of the slides you want to import to your own presentation. For example, if you want to import the second slide and the seventh slide, you can do that. And you can also select all of the slides by clicking this button here. All right. Make sure you keep this original theme and click Import Slides to confirm your options or your choice. Okay, all the slides were imported to my slides presentation, but I still need to make some adjustments. For example, I accidentally created one slide in the beginning, so I can just hit Delete and remove it. Now, let's create our content first by adding some text to it. And the first kind of text I want to add will be the title. On the first slide, I'm going to give a title here. So fairy tales will be the theme of my presentation. So I will just call it fairy tales. But the font size, as you can see, is too small and the color is so dark. I think it's not that great for students, so let's format the text, select the text, and hover over to the top of the control panel. You'll see this font family. I'll click here, and you can change it to the default font family. And then on the right, I can click this icon to make it bigger, or here to make it smaller, and I will just choose 60 for the font size. That seems about right. I can make it bold, or italics, or underlined. Okay, I'll leave it alone for now. I think it's fine. Here I can change the color. For example, I can change it to this yellow gold. Here I can also highlight, but again, I don't need that now, so I'm going to remove it by making it transparent. But it would be better if I can align this to the middle, so let's do that. Click here and then align it in the center and also the middle. I think the title slide looks good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add some more content to the other slides. Now I'll show you some more features. First, you can actually add a link to your slides presentation. For example, in this slide, I wanted to talk about the definition of a fairy tale. That is, a fairy tale is a make-believe folk tale, usually written for children. So I want my students to visit the link that I inserted in this slide so they can learn more about fairy tales. So let me select that text where I want to embed the link, and then click here, this icon. So you can see this will be the document which I want my students to visit. If I don't have this file in my Google Drive, I can click here to paste the link directly. So students will be directed to that inserted link. Okay, let me just click on this file, and later if students visit this slide, they can click this file to learn more about what a fairy tale is. Now that's how you can insert a link into the slide. Next, you can also upload an image to your slide. First, find a slide where you want to import an image. This slide, for example, looks quite empty, so maybe you can add an image to make it more attractive. So to upload an image, go to the control panel and find this icon. And we have two options. You can either upload the image from your computer, or you can search the image directly online. Let me show you the first option first. Okay, you'll see that here is the image that I've already prepared. Click on it and then click Open. So I just uploaded this image to my slide, but it's just way too big, so I have to resize it. Let's click and drag the corner to resize the image. Okay, and then I can drag it to the corner. Another way of uploading an image is by searching online. So let's do it again by clicking on this image icon and choosing Search the Web. On the right, you can put the keyword, and I'm going to search the word castle. Now Google has generated a number of good images for me. If I want to preview the image, I can click this magnifying lens to preview it. If I'm sure this is the one, then I can just click Insert from the top, and this image will be inserted into the slide. Okay, so again, this image is way too big, so I have to resize it. So I will crop the image by double-clicking this image and then drag this black corner here and then crop to keep the part that I want. All right, so this will be the image that I just searched online, but now we have two pictures of castles, so I'll just get rid of this one. Okay, next I'm going to show you how you can insert a text box for your slide. For example, this slide breaks down the elements of the plot of a fairy tale, and I want to add more explanation about the climax of a plot, because exposition and denouement have examples shown already, but climax does not. So to add text, let me draw a text box there. To do that, you can click on this T text box icon and then draw it anywhere you want on the slide. I'm going to put it in the middle, and then I'll enter my text. Okay, so I've entered the text, but the font doesn't look right. Obviously it's too dark, so what I can do is select the text from here and then click this paintbrush format icon to copy the format, and then select your own text to paste it. Okay, you see that we've already pasted the correct format successfully on this text box. Now I'm going to show you another feature that is very helpful to your students, and that is the audio file. So you can actually upload an audio file to your slide presentation, so your students can listen to it to learn more about whatever content you're teaching, or to hear you model the speaking that you want them to target. So obviously there's a lot of uses for audio files. For example, in this slide I want students to learn about the plot of a fairy tale, but I don't want to put too much text on this slide, so I can literally just stick a short little talk in there from my audio file. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Now, unfortunately, you can't directly import the audio in Google Slides. What you can do is upload it first into your Google Drive and then import your audio file from your Google Drive to your slides. To do that, let's go to Google Drive, click New on the left, and then select File Upload. Okay, I have two files there. This is the audio file that I want to upload. Click Open, and in 1 second it will be uploaded to my Google Drive. Alright, let's go back to our slide presentation and then click Insert on the menu and then Audio here. And you can find the audio file that I just uploaded to my Google Drive. You can click on it and hit Select to confirm your choice. In the corner here, you can see the audio file that I just uploaded. You can click here to preview or pre-listen to your audio file. On the right, you'll see more options, more controls for your audios. So, for example, you can choose to let the audio play when you click on it. You can make it play automatically when you advance to this slide. Here you can adjust the volume, and you can even loop the audio or make it stop playing when you jump to the next slide. There are even more options. For example, you can change the size, rotate it, reposition, or change the color of the icon there, the appearance of the audio icon. So just feel free to explore those features. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can import a video into your presentation slides. I think this is a very cool feature. We know students enjoy videos. They're very useful for all kinds of multimedia demonstrations, explanations, presentations, elaborations, context building, schema building, etc. So no need to convince you of the value of videos. Let me just find a suitable slide here to use to import one. Okay, in this slide I talk about magic and give 3 examples. I mentioned the gingerbread man comes to life, and I know there are a lot of videos about the gingerbread man, so let's just import one. To do that, let's go to Insert again and find the video, and you'll see there are 3 options. You can either search its name, you can paste the link if you have the link already from YouTube, or you can import it from your drive if you already have it there on your drive. So I'll search here in the YouTube search bar. So as I mentioned at the start, Google's integration of features is very convenient. Since YouTube is a Google company, you get to search their videos directly within slides here, seamlessly, easily. You'll be offered a number of good videos from your YouTube search, and I think this is the one I want, so let's hit Select. You can see here that the video has been inserted into our slides. Be sure to pay attention to the size because it might block the text you have already written behind it. So I'm going to resize this video and move it to the corner like we did with the image. Okay, on the right you can see you have a number of options to control the video. For example, you can play the video when you click it, or you can make it play automatically or manually. This might sound familiar from the audio part. You can adjust the start or the end time for a video. You can even mute the audio and play the video. So just like an image, you can also resize it or reposition it or change the appearance, like adding a drop shadow. Okay, I think I'm now good with this video, so I'm not going to change any of these settings. The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can organize the slides, because it appears that we have all the content media files already, so let's see how we can get it organized. To add a new slide, we can either go to this plus icon to add a new slide, or we can go to this slide and click New Slide from there. And notice that under New Slide, you can also duplicate slide if you want to create content that is based on an existing slide or modified slightly. That's very useful. Right now, I'm not going to use either of them, so let's remove the slide by clicking Delete, or I can just click on it and hit Delete right from my keyboard. Okay, the next thing we'll look at is this very interesting feature, which is Skip Slide. It means that when you're presenting a slide, this slide will skip, and if you want to present all the slides, you can unskip this slide. So under Skip Slide, you can move the slide up and down to rearrange its position. But one tip for moving the slides around is that you can just hold this slide and drag it to wherever you want. I think that's more convenient. If you don't want to change its position, you can click here to undo your changes. Okay, so that might be useful for creating similar content with slight differences for different classes or ability levels. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you before we get to the presenting part is that we can actually leave some notes for ourselves for when we are presenting to a class. Now, that is very useful. This can be part of your lesson plan and definitely convenient for giving ourselves tips, lists, reminders for our own content teaching or reminders for students. So let's do that. I'm going to select the slides in which I want to leave my notes. Okay, for example, here in this slide, I'm going to invite my students to say whether they know any other examples of fairy tales besides the one that we discussed as an example, the gingerbread man. So let's click on it and then put some notes there. Now when I'm presenting this slide and I see this note, I will know immediately I need to invite my students to think about or consider other fairy tales that they've heard. So that's a good feature for busy teachers. If I'm not presenting slides in a class, I can still leave this presentation to my students as homework. And I can actually leave a comment so students can answer my comments as homework questions. So this is one of the reasons we are a fan of Google Slides: the easy accessibility, the safety of using a cloud app, and also its adaptability to teaching in class or online, or using it as assigned content for homework or a flipped class. Okay, to make a comment, you can just click this comment icon next to the link icon, and here you can ask your question, such as, do you know any other fairy tales? Then hit comment, so students will be able to answer this question later on. Okay, let's explore the presentation features of Google Slides. To present this slides presentation, whether you're projecting it on a screen in your classroom or presenting it online, we can simply go to the top right corner here and click Slideshow. Of course, if we click it right now from here, it will start the presentation from this current slide that we're on. But if we want to present the slideshow from the beginning, simply go to this little arrow icon for a drop-down menu and click Start from Beginning. Now we're seeing the title slide of the presentation. To control our slides, you can hover on the left bottom corner of your slide to see this control button pop up. You can click this arrow icon to move through forward or back to those slides that you're looking for. you can have the option to click the number in the middle here to jump to a specific slide you're looking at. For example, this setting slide. If you want to play this presentation automatically, you can also click this 3 dots icon here and then go to autoplay. You can see here you can choose the intervals before you hit play. For example, I want my slide presentation to play 1 slide every 3 seconds. So I just click 3 seconds and then hit play. And the presentation will start after 3 seconds and advance 1 slide every 3 seconds after that. To stop it, I can click the 3 dots icon again and then hit pause. You can also loop your presentation, but I'm not going to do that right now. These autoplay features can be incorporated into an advanced slides presentation, so you can let it roll, for example, while you monitor your class for attention or participation, or while they're working on activities just according to your own teaching and learning objectives for your students. Next, I'm going to show you how you can open your speaker notes. First, let's go to the slide where I had written my notes and click this Open Speaker Notes. Okay, and on the left you can see here we have this pop-up window. It shows the speaker notes that I just wrote. I can click this icon to zoom in or this one to zoom out. If I don't want to use this panel as a reminder, I can actually use it as a teacher dashboard, because on the left you'll see the current slide and also the slide before and after, which is helpful to orient you during a presentation. You can even jump to a specific slide when presenting. And if you're going to close the speaker notes feature, you can just click this red icon right here. Okay, another very useful presentation feature is the laser pointer. You can turn on the laser pointer here and draw your students' attention to wherever you point the red dot. For example, if you're talking about woods, then you can direct the laser to woods here. To disable it, you can click it again and that will turn it off. Also notice that since we've enabled the speaker notes before, so we exit the full screen mode automatically. If we want to enter it again, we can just click Enter Full Screen Mode. Now I'm going to show you some more features here, such as the captions preference. This is, again, a very good tool for language teachers. If you toggle this on, then allow microphone to access your voice, you can see that Google will automatically detect your voice, and then you can click it again to stop detecting. If you like this feature, you can see you can also adjust the position of the automatic captions from the top to the bottom, and you can resize it from small to large. So this is a wonderful option when creating your presentations. Okay, the last important feature I want to share with you is how to create a Q&A session. So if you click on it, you'll be able to start a new session. And that is very useful if you want to start a live discussion with your class. Okay, so whether you want to allow students to enter questions privately from their devices in a face-to-face setting, or if you want to use a slides Q&A session while teaching online if necessary, this feature works fine both ways. So to start a new session, click Start New, and you'll see that on your screen there is a link for students to join. Notice that this link is only open to the same organization. So if you are using an organizational login like your school account, students from outside won't be able to see your questions or the slides. Okay, that's rarely a problem in a school setting if students are also using the school account, but some students may access from their own private Google account, for example. So sometimes it's good if you change the setting to this: anyone can access the question. And this is a nice workaround for that organizational limitation. Now anyone can see the questions and participate. Okay, now let's wait for the students to answer the question. Okay, there's one student asking a question, and if I want to answer it for the class, I can present it to the whole class so everyone can see it. Of course, I can address it or let students give their own answer if I want there to be more active thinking and participation. When I no longer want this question to be presented, I just hit hide again to hide the question. Notice that students can also like the question of other classmates, and so this can provide good formative feedback for you to know which questions the students are eager to have answered, so they can upvote questions that are similar to theirs or questions that they would like to have answered. So this is a very useful feature, again, an added value of Google Slides. All right. If I want to stop accepting questions from the students, I can just click this button off and the Q&A session will end. I can then simply click this X to close the window. All right, so that covers the basics of creating a slides presentation. I know some of you have used slides before. I hope you've learned one or two additional features that will be useful to you here. We'd like to see you explore and experiment and try out all of these added value features while taking the core course. This is your chance to play and experiment and explore. Okay, in addition to the options we've shown you, such as integrating multimedia and using it face-to-face or online, you have other options. When you finish a presentation, for example, you can click here to download your presentation as a PDF file, which makes it very easy to share with students, either directly or on your own school learning management system, LMS. We can download it as a PowerPoint presentation if you're working between different apps, or you might just want to print it for some kind of reference. So lots of options, which is great. So to end this presentation, you can simply click this Exit Slideshow or click Exit on your keyboard, and we will end this section of our training course. That's it for Google Slides. I'll see you in the next section.